Yep. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started this meeting on August 26th at 2 p.m. This is known as the Cabazon Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District Public Financing Authority meeting. And we'll go ahead and, Mr. Bruckner, we'll go ahead and I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, sir, if you could do roll call.
Ms. Elena Baca Santa Cruz.
Here.
Member Medina. Member Gutierrez.
Here.
Member Wargo.
Here.
And Member Perez.
Here.
Great. I'll go ahead and lead us in the flag salute. If we could please stand. Okay. Please place your right hand over your heart and begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. And that leads us to our agenda business items, administrative action, approval of bylaws of the Cabazon EIFD Public Financing Authority. Did you want us to do this as each separate one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
or you could take it either way.
Recording in progress.
I think, yeah, go ahead,
You
approval.
want
So
to
if you
just do
wanna-
item 1.1?
Okay, vamos a.
Member Baca Santa Cruz?
Oh, well, can you tell us what the item is?
My
Staff report?
apologies.
Sorry.
Item 1.1 is approval of the Public Finance Authority's bylaws, a draft of which is in the agenda packet.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Are there any?
Muy bien.
Okay, can we? Someone's in the.
Yeah, another voice.
Yeah, there's another. The voice of God. If we can maybe mute it. Okay. Okay. Great. So Scott, are there any questions to staff on the approval of the bylaws that we have? Let's start there.
No comments in the queue?
Oh, no, I mean any questions? No questions? Okay. Any public comments on this?
My apologies, no comments.
Okay. All right. So then we'll go ahead and entertain a vote if there's no deliberation on it. So if you could do roll call?
Member Santa Cruz?
Yes.
Member Gutierrez?
Yes.
Member Wargo?
Yes.
And Member Perez?
Yes.
Okay, great. Selection of chair and vice chair. Did you want to do a report on that or? No report?
No report, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to nominate myself as chair. And any,
So move, I make the
Second.
motion,
oh, okay.
and did you all have a conversation or anything of the sort?
no, we
Maybe
didn't.
Potentially,
No, we didn't have who would like to be vice chair?
not myself, it's gonna be one of you two.
Okay.
Hey,
So that's your motion for me and Baca Santa Cruz?
are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
she's the second. She's the second, and then if you can call the vote?
Member Santa Cruz?
Yes.
Member Gutierrez?
Yes.
Member Wargo?
Yes.
And Member Perez?
Yes.
Great, okay, and then receive and acknowledge the minutes from the May 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting, and entertaining a motion to approve that, the minutes.
So move.
Okay, moved by Supervisor Perez, a second.
Second.
Okay, by Member Baca Santa Cruz. Roll call, well, all those in favor, is that okay if I can just do that? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good. Okay. Public hearing item. So this is a public hearing item on the draft Cabazon Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District Financing Plan. We have a staff presentation.
If I could request staff to bring up the presentation. Briefly, Roy, do you have the presentation queued?
Is
The
there a
presentation?
Is there an
Oh.
actual vote on this?
Well, this is the public hearing, so
this is
just
the main.
informational report ahead of the public hearing.
On both these items, correct?
Yes, one single item is the public hearing, correct?
Okay, got it.
So there is a vote?
There will be a vote, yes.
Yes.
There will be a vote or there won't be a vote?
There will be.
There will be a vote, my apologies.
So there's gonna be a vote on both items on 2.1.
Yeah.
Yep,
And they're looking for the presentation, right?
correct.
Yeah. What happened too is that we just moved from another meeting. So that's why it's kind of, because we're transitioning from it.
My apologies. And while we're waiting for that presentation to come up, I just want to, just a housekeeping item. If anybody has here any comments that they'd like to provide to the Public Finance Authority for the public hearing, please come fill out a public comment card, return it to me. We'll take in comments as in the order we've received them. If you are attending via English or Spanish Zoom, please raise your hand if you're using the Zoom application, or press *9 to raise your hand. Alternatively, you can type in your comments and they'll be read aloud into the record.
Great. And while they're pulling up that presentation, Scott, do you feel comfortable maybe just kind of giving a little overview of it? Maybe that way you can maybe get it started. That way there's no dead space.
Good idea, Mr. Chair. Yeah, so the purpose of today's public hearing is for the PFA, the Public Finance Authority, to receive oral and written public testimony and to take action to modify or reject the Cabazon EIFD infrastructure financing plan. Before we get there, we typically provide a little bit of background information. In general, an EIFD is a funding mechanism created by the state legislature to allow local governments to bring infrastructure improvements to areas that might otherwise struggle to do so through market forces alone. The big question is, where do EIFDs get their funding? And the answer is through tax increment financing. And basically what that is basically like a savings account. It's a way of taking a portion of future property tax revenue that's already being paid by existing property owners and to be set aside to be invested in the community, in community infrastructure. So that future growth is what's known as tax increment. So the most important thing to remember about the EIFD and this tax increment financing is that it does not result in any increase to existing property taxes, and it does not result in any new property taxes or fees. Cabazon property owners will pay the same property taxes with the EIFD in place as they would without it. Another important point to remember about the EIFD, if we could advance to slide 4, please. Next one, and one more. Thank you. Is that the EIFD can only use the county's portion of property tax increment. It will not use property tax increment.
Recording stopped.
Education agencies or any other government agencies within the area. So as the county is the only participating agency in the Cabazon EIFD, only the county's portion of property tax increment from growth will be used. So the effect on other agencies is really none when it comes to revenue. Next slide, please. So the benefits of an EIFD are pretty considerable. They provide a dedicated funding source to reinvest in the community. These revenues that are set aside are dedicated to improvements within the same area. It's a way to keep property taxes to be spent local. It's also a way to attract and bundle additional funds. As an EIFD gains revenue, it becomes more likely that it can provide a match to state or federal funding, and in that way that can maximize the impact of an EIFD. And then the return on investment. As the infrastructure goes in, private sector investment is induced, and then those infrastructure improvements just, again, become more maximized. You go next slide, please, and the one after that will get into the details of this particular Cabazon EIFD. This map is found in the draft infrastructure finance plan. The proposed boundary includes almost 4,000 parcels, and the total population of landowners and residents in that boundary, 18 years of age or older, is just over 6,034. Next slide, please. So the infrastructure finance plan also provides greater detail on where the EIFD's revenue will come from. So if you look at the area property taxes collected as a big pie, that would be the lower, larger pie on the bottom there. The lion's share of that property tax goes to other taxing entities, with the most of it going to the state for schools. The county collects about 11.8% of that property tax pie. Of that 11.8% that is the county is proposing to give 25% of the growth in that to go towards the infrastructure improvements of the EIFD, and the remaining 75% would continue to go to county services. Next slide, please. This table is taken directly out of the infrastructure finance plan, and it details the total estimated revenues that we expect the EIFD to bring in. It's just about $249 million over its lifetime. We propose that 30% of that funding go to water and wastewater improvements, 30% go to flood control improvements, 30% to transportation improvements, and 10% to fire suppression improvements. Next slide. So to summarize, the EIFD will not raise taxes. It does not add any new or taxes or fees. It will only use the county's portion of property tax increment revenue. All other taxing entities' revenue will be untouched. The county's proposed contribution to the Cabazon EIFD is 25% of its increment, of its growth and increment, and that will go towards reinvestment into key categories of infrastructure as identified by the community and worked through with the community. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Our outreach effort for this EIFD has been considerable. We've held 5 total community meetings with over 150 participants at the MAC meetings. We've held 2 community informational meetings, as well as other meetings with Cabazon Outlets executive staff, with the High Valleys Water District. We had a television interview with KESQ, done several press releases announcing when meetings are upcoming. We've done 4 separate mailings to date, reaching over 4,300 residents and property owners each time. We've blasted on social media posts every time a meeting is upcoming. We have an EIFD webpage that intakes all comments and provides all EIFD information, and then many phone calls and emails over the last few months with community members calling in and being informed on their questions. Next slide, please. So here's our formation schedule and next steps. So on May 20th, the County Board of Supervisors adopt 2 resolutions, one with its intent to inform this EIFD, and the other to form this Public Finance Authority. June 2nd, those resolutions were sent out to all property owners in the proposed EIFD area. July 7th, the draft IFP was prepared and then mailed to area residents and property owners and posted on the website. Next slide, please. We held 2 informational meetings on July 22nd, and they were well attended by community members. Presented the draft IFP, answered comments, answered questions and accepted comments. Today is Public Finance Authority public hearing number 1. We've discussed the purpose of today's hearing. If we move past today's hearing, the next steps would be the draft infrastructure finance plan would go to the county's Board of Supervisors to consider adoption of a resolution approving the IFP. That's targeted for September 9th. Then after that, if that proceeds through, this PFA would meet again to hold public hearing number 2, to hear written and oral comments and conduct a protest proceeding. If 25% or less of the voting population in the EIFD area do not submit protest, this Public Finance Authority has the discretion to adopt the IFP, thereby establishing the EIFD. Next slide, please. This is a list of written comments we've received to date. We've also received many phone calls and emails just with general questions. You have all of these comments in your agenda packets there at the dais. To date, we have received 2 comments in objection to formation of the EIFD, one from High Valleys Water District and another from Sharon Cooper. Next slide, please. With that, staff's recommendation is that the chair open the public hearing, hear all written and oral comments, close the public hearing, and direct staff to make modifications to the draft IFP if necessary, and recommend approval go forward to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Any questions to staff?
Yeah, I have a question. What was the reason behind opposition from the water district?
I believe it was threefold. There was a concern that it was going to split the community and that the district wanted to have the ability to form their own EIFD. And subsequently, I did have a phone call with the general manager and explained that this EIFD has no bearing on their revenue, but comments still submitted.
Okay, I assume they probably weren't aware of how EIFD, what its functions are and how it's formed and why it was formed and, or why it was even created in the first place after now that the RDA is gone. And my understanding is that you can't actually, as a local municipality, create your own EIFD unless somehow it's connected to a county level or something of that sort.
Any taxing entity has the ability, the discretion to try to form an EIFD. Now, typically, the numbers, unless they collect a sizable amount of revenue, that doesn't typically pencil out, but I don't know the district's situation with that.
Okay, so their fear was that by us creating an EIFD, that potentially they might not be able to create their own, which would allow them to receive that tax increment for their own needs. Is that what you're saying?
That's what was, but I did explain several times to the board as well that this EIFD is proposing to use county property tax increment only,
It's only county, yeah.
Right.
with no impact to their revenue source. So that was explained, but
So after you explain that to them, did they understand that?
by their comment letter, I would assume there's probably still some misunderstanding.
All right, well, I would just suggest that you actually write a letter of sorts and maybe one day, if possible, staff or
Sit down with
or
them.
a member here on this board can try to maybe go explain. It is confusion, you know, I mean, I understand. I mean, I went through the same thing in my area and the 4th District when we were creating our own EIFD. People had the same concerns, same questions. But after we were able to explain it, people understood it and they said, okay, it makes sense. We appreciate it now and moved on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think once you explain it, and I was part of that board with the Eastern Coachella Valley, and you know, we're not using or impacting any of their revenue. So that's a key point. Member Ward.
Is that on? Okay. So I've attended all Scott's informational meetings for this, and the issue is that from a bird's eye view, it looks like these two communities are together. Cabazon being its own, it still takes a half an hour to get from Cabazon all the way up the mountain up to Twin Pines. So what Twin Pines, I was at some of their water meetings where some people had public objectives to this. The issue is they don't feel that Twin Pines money should be spent on Cabazon, or if Cabazon's money should be spent up in Twin Pines, that they're two separate communities. After hearing some of this, I did have Scott come up and give a full presentation to the High Valleys Water District, because there's no like city council, or there's nothing else. That's all they have up there. So he went up there and spoke specifically with them because only a few of them could make it down to the Cabazon meetings. They feel like this is excluding half of their town, and it's not even including all of their area. I believe that the Twin Pines Poppet Flats actually splits both Yixton and your area. It's 4 and 5. So it's two different areas up there, but that's what they were looking for Twin Pines, Poppet Flats, Silent Valley, that whole area, to not be included in the Cabazon EIFD and incorporate themselves into one EIFD. Because before Scott went down and did his amazing presentations, everybody was like pitchforks and arms, you know, and listening. And then Scott's like, and they're like, oh wait, this is a great idea. So everybody believes that the EIFD is a good idea. They just think that it should be two separate ones.
Well, and,
Can you clarify that? It's not my district.
yeah, I'm not too sure about that. It's mostly, I think it's my district.
As it stands now, the boundary is 100% in 5th District. However, that southern portion of the boundary we did draw it along the district, supervisorial district line. So
it's
any
near.
further south comes District 4.
And there's nothing to preclude, and this is important to make a comment here, that you can have many EIFDs. You know, it doesn't have to be In fact, this is where a lot of counties and cities are going, is doing this. Because basically what it is just getting a cash advance. That's really what it is of the property tax. So we're not raising anybody's taxes or anything. We're just getting that cash advance so that we can reinvest into the community. So there's nothing to stop the county or maybe we work with Twin Pines or work with them to maybe do another one over there, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, but if I may, just for clarification, is a fourth district at all within the CIFD?
It is not
At all?
at all.
All right.
It's not in that one, but is it within that Twin Pines Poppet Flats area?
Well, I'm not sure, but we're talking about the EIFD. So the fourth district is not in the EIFD at all. I don't want to confuse people because I want people to understand that they're not separating them out. Now, are you saying that there's a community that's being separated, like cut in half, because part of it is in the fourth, part is in the fifth, and that one that's in the fifth is in the EIFD? Is that what you're saying?
That I don't know as far as where the 4th and 5th district lines split from Twin Pines, Poppet Flats, that mountain area up there. But as that mountain area comes together as a community through, I think, High Valley Water District, they're all not being included in the EIFD.
I think it also, so there's Twin Pines, which is that mountain area. It's all 5th district. It's all 5th district. But basically, what I'm thinking is that they may want their own because they're feeling that they're not going to get enough for their area. Is that why they're?
There was discussion amongst the board that day that they wanted to contemplate formation of an EIFD just commensurate
Pines.
with their service boundary.
Twin Pines.
And again, we explained that this EIFD would have no bearing on that. They'd be free to do that if they so pleased.
Got it.
But I think that needs to be clarified as well, because is there enough tax increment to actually create an EIFD where you're going to see benefits from that sooner than later,
Correct.
as opposed to, for example, being part of the larger EIFD, if you will, in which everyone's putting into that EIFD, to that tax increment, in which that money can be used for bond to build whatever it is that needs to be built, whatever project it is. So I think people need to be really careful. They want to create their own EIFD. If your community is so small and your taxpayer base is very little, if you will, it's going to take you forever to get any type of level to bond that, as opposed to, for example, working with the bigger EIFD or the EIFD as a whole, where you can actually bond the entire amount and then use that to build a project of sorts. So I think that also needs some education in our communities, because it's a tool where anybody can use it, but it's not worthwhile if you don't have enough
Revenue.
taxpayer dollars coming in.
And so I think we can continue those discussions with them, and I think we'll get there once we explain it. Yeah.
We can definitely do that. I can reach back out to the general manager and offer to speak with the board again, definitely.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? If not, I would like to entertain public comments, if we have public comments.
Mr. Chair, I believe you need to open the public hearing, and I
Oh,
can.
yeah, let me open the public hearing first. Okay, I'd like to entertain public comments.
I have one speaker here in person, Mr. Otanel Ayensu.
Okay, Oltanel. Hi, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your smile. Everybody's smiling, and that gives me a little courage.
Good.
Number two, if you miss out something because of my Romanian accent, ask me again and I'll translate.
Okay.
It just happens that my property is within that district. When I first received the letter, literally, I jumped up of joy, because I thought, wow, This is God's answer to my problem. And then I attended a meeting with Mr. Bruckner in Cabazon, and after that, a couple of times, I sent some emails, he sent back, me crying on his shoulders.
Oh.
And now I'm crying on your shoulders. It is connected somehow because, you see, they voted to reject this, the water district, high value water district. And like I said, I'm part, territorially speaking, not from the organization, because I was for this, and I'm still for the project that Mr. Bruckner presents to you. But my problem is that for 30 years I dreamed to have an outdoor Bible land. And I purchased a property 3 years ago there. And I work alone, by myself. My hands can show you. I cut with rake and hoe, hiking trail for about 4 miles, and I built, starting from Egypt all the way to Megiddo and so forth, Bible land. Nothing of a permanent structure is there. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So not knowing how the things work, finally I came to here to apply, and guess what? They shut me down. Because they asked me to do things which I think are completely not fair. You say that out of 270 million, about 30% is for transportation, which means about 75 million will go into that. But if that comes after we die, the next generation doesn't help us today. Because one of the things they wanted me to do is from the Twin Pines Road to the entrance to the project, half a mile, to enlarge it 25 feet, to pave it. When there are other property owners, there are others who use it for Airbnb, other things. Now you want me to vote and want to be with you, and I am, again, trust me. But it hurts me that you ask me to be with you, but you're not with me. When I'm saying I'm not really you here, right? I'm talking about this because nobody. I've been writing letters, text messages to here, to the transportation department, nothing.
So what I'll do, sir, is let me get your information. If we have Rania right here in the back, so that way we can get your information and we can sit down and have a meeting.
Me and who?
Rania in the back here, she's waving. Okay. Yeah, so that she's very, very, very helpful, and I want to make sure that we address your concerns.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but I did want to just make sure that you're for the EIFD.
Yes, I'm for.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
No further comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll move to, I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing and ask my colleagues if they would like to entertain a motion to go ahead and approve, or if they have comments on this. Oh, yes, go ahead. Member Wargo.
Okay, so I still have comments. I don't know I know it would change the funding amount, and I don't know if anybody else would be on board. But like our public comment that we just had, that's a subsection of Banning, right? So Twin Pines, that whole area is subsection of Banning area. I don't know if it's wise to make have the boundary include outside of Cabazon area. That would be my kind of. I mean, for Banning gets other monies. I understand that Twin Pines and all this area is a little bit unincorporated, but their address is in Banning.
Maybe we can ask staff, can you tell us maybe the reasoning behind including the whole area? Was there a reasoning behind that?
We did draw the boundary to be inclusive of several areas for a few reasons. One, we figured that these multiple areas could benefit from the infrastructure improvements that are being proposed. We also wanted to obviously maximize the effect of the EIFD as well. We did a similar exercise as Member Gutierrez and Perez, you're aware, for Eastern Coachella Valley, that includes also many communities and that need infrastructure, and it was a similar effort for this.
It's even bigger. And you get more revenue. Yeah, that's actually a good point that you bring up, because the Eastern Coachella one goes literally from way in the east. I mean, it's Salton Sea area. I mean, it covers a lot of area. This one's actually pretty small.
Yeah, that is the largest EIFD in the state of California. It goes from the southern borders of La Quinta and Coachella all the way down to the county line.
And then there's still opportunity, because I'm on that board in that once the IFP gets formed, the financing plan, infrastructure plan, that you can actually, as a board, we can say, okay, these projects we think we can allocate to and things like that. Is that correct, Scott?
Correct. What they're working on in the Eastern Coachella Valley area is an implementation plan that would set forth a lot of the implementation, including allocation in an equitable fashion of funds.
So I think what you're saying is that there will be more opportunity to speak about how we can, or where about to put the funding in different communities, and what type of ways.
Absolutely.
So again, what we're just asking here is just to approve this initial draft, again, and then we'll continue the conversations. We'll have another one as well that we'll meet as well.
Correct.
So,
So, I'd like to move to approve the draft Cabazon EIFD as presented.
okay. I'll go ahead and second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Just one? Okay. Okay. So it's 3 yes, 1 no. Okay, and then we'll go to general comments on matters not on the agenda. Any, Scott?
None, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll move on to Public Financing Authority member comments. Any Public Financing Authority comments? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I think that the EIFD, the entire concept of it is an amazing idea. And I really want to thank Scott for going out and educating the public on it multiple times. He did a really good job. So thank you.
Okay, great. And then we'll go ahead and adjourn to our October 7th meeting, immediately following the Board of Supervisors meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.